thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for today's Bambudda Boost. And today we're very lucky to have Nikki Beaumont, who is the co-founder and CEO of Beaumont People. If you haven't heard of Beaumont People, you need to check them out. They're doing some amazing things, supporting charities, and they've actually been listed as one of the top places to work. So it's really, really, really a treat today to have Nikki sharing some of her knowledge and insight into how she's built her own business in rocky times, and also how people really are your main asset moving forward. So I'm going to do what I do best. I'm going to disappear and I'm going to hand you over to the lovely Nikki Beaumont.
Thanks very much, Anna from Bambuddha, and thank you so much for putting on these daily boosts. With all the fabulous speakers, I've been tuning in to many of them. Snippets of inspiration are just so relevant and fabulous, and it's certainly been a real boost for me every day. So thanks again, Anna, you are fabulous. So it's all about the people. Starting with that slide with some of my beautiful team there. Look at us all together with those smiley faces. I just love it. And, you know, out of the blue, there we were working from home, all on Zoom meetings, and that's how we get together now. So it's certainly been interesting times. I want to spend some time talking about why placing people first will get us through this time and out the other side. Now, I'm just going to start with, my slides don't seem to be moving and I don't know why. Anna, can you tell me why my slides aren't moving?
I think you might need to just go to the bottom left hand. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Mouse seems to be working better. All right. Okay, thanks for that. So what we're going to cover, what's keeping me asleep at night? Well, certainly not the night before a webinar, but normally what's keeping me asleep at night? What are companies doing to keep people engaged, and what will the future of work look like is what we're going to be discussing over the next 10 to 15 minutes. But first of all, who am I, for those of you who don't know me? I'm moving quite quickly. As Anna said, thank you, I'm the founder and CEO of Beaumont People. We're a recruitment business which was once based in Sydney and Byron, looking after the Northern Rivers up to Brisbane. We're now based absolutely all over Australia. So we've got people in Manly, I'm in Nurrabar, Ocean Shores, the Gold Coast, of course, as we're all working from home. But when we do get back to our offices, that's where we'll be. We pretty much recruit all of your white collar roles. So anything from your junior to your CEO and everything in between, across a variety of industries. We are best known for the work that we do in the charity sector, but we work with all industries, and we're particularly well known in education, health and social care, associations, the list goes on. So, here we go, I'm not moving again. First I wanted to ask how you're feeling. So this session's actually more about the positives. It's about the people and it's about the positives, but I do think we need to be respectful that, you know what, a lot of people out there are still feeling very anxious and very worried. So drop in the chat for me how you're feeling. You know, is it all going to be okay? How are you feeling right now? I'm interested to see what other people are feeling at the moment. Hopefully we started with a nice positive tune for you. I feel good, one of my all-time favorites. So I'm seeing in the chat, feeling hopeful, ready for recovery and courage. Wow, some really positive feelings there, which is really good to see. So, but I did just want to at least acknowledge that, you know what, some people are really still worried. Some people are obviously worried about their loved ones, their elderly, family, worried about finances, their jobs, etc. So I am going to focus on the positives. I don't want to dwell on those ones, but we do certainly need to acknowledge that. So people feeling motivated, excited about how the world will change, and enjoying a more respectful society after this, with more space to just be. That's really nice, Christy, thank you. Okay, it's all going to be okay. Now this photo is me, you know, it's me with my daughter. I'm an extremely positive, outdoor, adventurous person. This is us in New Zealand, in the beautiful New Zealand, doing a Via Ferrata, which was climbing up a waterfall and putting ourselves out there and doing something. To be honest, I have a thing that says do one thing a day that scares you, that was one of those things, but a wonderful thing to do. So why is it all going to be okay? I can see already from the people who are on this that you're feeling that it's going to be okay, but we're hearing lots of positive news. Only the weekend when we got the plans released in terms of how we're going to come through this and come out of this, that was so encouraging for everybody. And I feel like the whole feeling for everybody has changed since we heard that news, because even though we don't know when, we can see that something's going to happen. And of course, you know, we are in the lucky country. I firmly believe that Australia has come through this better than anybody. You know, we've dealt with this really well. The government has surprised me and many others, and we've brought some fabulous things in, such as, you know, JobKeeper has meant a massive amount to so many companies, which has allowed them to retain their people and to keep going and to keep money in the bank and to continue to pay their bills even when they're struggling. So, you know, some really fantastic things there. But from my perspective, you know, why do I really believe that it's going to be okay? Yep, I'm absolutely a positive person, but I've been through a number of downturns, and that music, I Feel Good, came from the downturn in the 80s in the UK when we were particularly struggling in recruitment, and that was our way of coming into work every morning, playing that music real loud and giving us a boost for the day. But the GFC taught us so many things, and like anything, like being a mother, these things will pass is kind of my motto. We will get through this. And if I look back myself on my life and some of the challenges that I've had to face, the difficulties that I've had to face, and there have been many, you know what, they're a distant memory now and they've passed and things move on. So I choose to look at it in that perspective, but of course everybody takes things on in their own way. And other things that I love about this situation, that we can see the good things in, you know, the environment is a massive part of this. I don't read the news much, but one of the things I do love when I do read the news is to see that, you know, cities that were once covered in smog can now see clearly to the mountains. Or, you know, I'm sure we've all heard about the dolphins returning to canals in Venice. And, you know, the conversations with some of my team in Sydney are, it looks so much clearer when you look out, you know, when you look out of your window across the harbour or down the street, you know. So the impact on the environment has been incredible. And I wonder if, you know, that's just what we needed for us all to really put a bit more focus on the environment, and it's become much more present for us all. The continued conversations that I'm having with people, you know, organisations and businesses that we're working with all over Australia, you know, are saying that there's so many good things that have come out of this, and I've really enjoyed focusing on the good things that people have said. Even though, you know, the change to working from home for many was quite challenging in the beginning. Some people breezed into it, and some people it was very challenging. But people are getting used to it now. People are getting into their groove, and they're actually enjoying working from home. And they're obviously, you know, having more time for themselves, having time to do exercise, having time with their families, having time to cook because you can't go out, and relearn to cook or teach your children to cook. You know, there are so many positives in there. We're only just seeing flour and yeast come back onto the shelves here, and I still can't get hold of puff pastry because everybody's clearly cooking out there, which is a great thing. So there are many of the good things that I really believe it's going to be okay. And some of the positive signs that we're seeing in Beaumont are the jobs are starting to return. And when the jobs return, then I think everybody will start to feel better. And those people who are out of work at the moment will start to see that there are more opportunities. And we're already seeing that come through, which is fantastic. So what do the best companies do to keep their people energised and engaged? Now, I'd love you to put that in the chat for me, if you can, please. Is what are you doing, or what have you seen people are doing to keep their people energised and engaged? Let's have a look. Okay, I'm not seeing anything come up yet. We're doing some fun stuff in Beaumont, but we're also doing some really practical stuff too. Fitness, that's one of the things that we've done as well, absolutely. We've actually, at the very beginning of this, a couple of guys in the team decided that they'd run a 15-minute fitness session for everybody to zoom in on for a quarter of an hour in the morning, which was lots of fun and very energizing. So other people, some nice tips in here. Just decided to put your fears aside and just being happy. Act as is. That's really nice. Helping my clients ramp up the communication from Esther, which is fantastic. And communication, Esther, that's absolutely key, isn't it? One of the things that we've learned is communicate, over communicate, particularly with the changes and the rapid changes with this situation. And that's one thing that we certainly learned from our GFC times. And as leaders, reassuring messages to your team, being understanding of people's feelings and stressing and acknowledging that everybody's different. What else have we got here? From Kerry, more phone calls to check in with people and support. We do that in video calls as well, much more video calls so that you can see people, particularly, you know, those people who are home alone, who don't get to see people. Those things are really important. From Carolyn, working together on the mission and the purpose, and certainly not losing sight of our purpose. We've also got reaching out, checking in. I've actually made more worldwide networks, more than ever. That's really nice, Katrina. From Carolyn, asking clients how we can help and not just helping without charging, which is really nice. And from Louise, being real, normal and vulnerable from the top down. So lots of really good ideas. I can add to the list that things that we've done in Beaumont that we've certainly enjoyed. We've always done one-to-ones with everybody every week. We absolutely need to do those now, and actually more than ever, just checking in with people, making sure that people know what they're doing, have got the support that they need, are feeling heard, are feeling listened to, and are feeling connected. Daily team meetings every morning. Some of the teams are having huddles every morning and setting the tone for the day. A few weeks in, we decided to set weekly goals, or for the teams to set their own weekly goals. It's not for us to do that, and share those with each other. Getting inspiration from each other has been a great thing with that, but also a sense of achievement at the end of the week is something that has been really great. Team lunches and coffees. In fact, our ops team did a fantastic thing. They had an afternoon tea organised, and I'm not quite sure how they managed it. I wasn't involved somehow, but they actually delivered macaroons around to each other and then all got together for a tea, which was wonderful. We've been doing some Zoom bombing. I don't know if anybody out there is familiar with Zoom bombing. Maybe it's something that we've created. So we've actually had a couple of our people go on parental leave, or about to go on parental leave. So we've organised things like a party for them on Zoom, and they just thought they were having a one-to-one with somebody. We all jump in and have a bit of a celebration, which is great. What else have we got up there? Lots more boosts, of course. That's another great thing to make sure that your people are on the boosts. This is a great opportunity for people to learn as well, because of course there's so much more learning available. Webinars such as Bambuddha Boost, so making sure that people get the opportunity. I know some of my people are constantly trying to get 2 or 3 webinars a week in, so that they're using this opportunity to learn. Fun stuff. If I just move on to the next slide. This was one of our Zoom meetings. This was bring a prop. As you can see, some people brought wine, others brought a dog. Looking for the fun stuff that you can do too. Dressing up. That's me there with the wig on and a glass of wine. So trivia nights. There's lots of other things that you can do. So what does the future of work look like? Now, this is again back to you. I'm going to want to hear from you. What do you think the future of work looks like as we move through this and come out the other side? Is that what you look like in the office today? I think that's certainly the case for most people as we're working from home. Perfectly corporate and shiny up here. I am not admitting to what's under the table right now. People different, yes, it will look different. I mean, I think one thing's for sure, as we've learned to work from home and we've accepted the changes and the challenges, we've certainly enjoying the flexibility, more consciousness about the value we create. Businesses with a high trust culture will thrive, especially as more remote working. Absolutely, Esther, absolutely agree with that. That was one of the things I was going to talk about, was that businesses didn't necessarily believe that people could all work from home and things could carry on and it could be successful, but we're proving that that's the case. So, you know, it's been a great learning thing for businesses just as much as it has for the people themselves who are working from home. And of course, it's not for everybody. I think one of the things I firmly believe is, you know, there's a different story for everybody. And I know some of my guys are desperate to get back into the office, but some are going, actually, 2 or 3 days from home would work really well for me because I'm enjoying the exercise. I'm enjoying the time I've got with my family. I'm enjoying, just like I did this morning, put the slow cooker on so that that's organised for me for the end of the day. What have we got here? Having always worked from home, it's something I've had plenty of time to adjust from Christy, but it's been interesting watching others adjust. Obviously, the technology, you know, the embracing of technology that we've had to have, I think that was always happening and coming, but it's suddenly gone whoosh. Here we are doing webinars. We talked about it for a year that we were going to do them and never actually got round to it. So here we are doing webinars, and you know, where we always had our events bringing people into the office. We always interviewed candidates, bringing them into the office. Of course, we're now doing it online. And I feel really good about that. We love meeting people in person. Of course we do. We absolutely love that. And I did a survey this morning about how that will change, but I can see us having many more Zoom interviews with candidates, having many more Zoom meetings with clients, and of course the impact on the environment because of the lack of travel, etc., is going to be great. What else have we got here? Using technology more to be much more efficient. Yeah, absolutely. There are definitely things that will be the future of work. Well, the other things are, I think people's roles have changed. You know, I mean, just look at our local restaurants and cafes and even our gin distillery, you know, where our gin makers made gin, now they're making hand sanitizer, where our restaurants worked late into the night, feeding people and tidying up afterwards. They're now working days and they're, you know, delivering home cooked meals during the day, or they're delivering veggie boxes or whatever. So people's roles have changed and they will change because things have changed moving forward. People will change jobs. I mean, that's one of the things we're really expecting, you know, because people have expectations now of flexibility. If their companies can't continue to give them that flexibility as things start to turn around again, as soon as the jobs come back, they'll jump ship. And of course, the leaders that dealt with this particularly well will retain the best talent, and the leaders that didn't deal with this well, and I'm already hearing stories of that, when the opportunities are there, that people will jump ship and go and work where leaders have dealt with this well and continue to deal with this well moving forward. So let me just see if there's anything else in that chat. No, I think that's pretty much it. So unless there's any more ideas in terms of what you think the future of work will look like, we're actually looking to speak to a futurist in the near future at one of our webinars. So do hop on our website, check out what our webinars are. We haven't got that one up yet, but I know that it's in there. And I'm going to just move into, oh, I'm moving so fast. If there are any questions, you can pop it in the chat.
Thank you so much, Nikki. That was awesome. Have we got any questions? Anybody? Now's your window. Although there's many windows in the future, but here's a window today. Do you think that employees are ready for online interviews, Nikki?
Well, you know what? Some of them are just having to do it at the moment because that's the way that it is. So yes, but you know, some will be, some won't. But it's just a part of change, and it's just a part of some people accept change differently to others. And maybe it's our role to encourage that moving forward. Maybe that's the way that it'll be. I still love the face-to-face stuff. I think you get a lot out of it, but maybe we need to have both, you know.
What would be your advice, Nikki, to employers that haven't had particular flexibility in the workplace previously, that are now managing this situation? What would your advice be to those types of workplaces at this time?
You know what, now's your time to stop and think and listen to your people. Listen to your people, talk about how things can be moving forward, and just, you know, open your mind to how things could be different. And but you know, at the end of the day, it is all about the people. So listen to your people, because you know, they're the front line, they're the ones doing the work for you, and if they can actually make it happen, then, you know, maybe there is a possibility. And one of the things I read recently was, and it's something that we certainly learned when we launched the 4-day week, it's less about the hours that people work, it's more about the productivity. It's more about what people do, and it's more about trust and allowing people to do the job that they need to do and not necessarily be, you know, the leader that needs to watch over people or needs to check in on people. It's about developing trust with your people.
Thank you so much for your time today, Nikki. And I'm testament, I actually was placed by Beaumont people when I first arrived in Australia. Before I'd even got off the boat, actually, a lady called Rebecca Green reached out to me when I was in Thailand traveling and was like, hey, we've got a potential job at Camp Quality. So they actually placed me in my first proper role here, which obviously led on to great things. So thank you for everything you do, Nikki, and thank you for all the advice and support that you've given Bambudda Group and being on our council the past year. We have got lots more boosts lined up for you, and tomorrow we've got Paul Dunn from B1G1. He's literally the granddad of kindness. He is the nicest guy, and he and his partner have made some serious impact for the organisation that they've set up. So do tune in for that. From next week, to accommodate for that going back to work situation, we are taking the boost down to 3 days a week. So it'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Apart from that, have a good day today. Be kind to yourselves and each other. Make sure you keep warm. Put the slow cooker on like Nikki and just enjoy this time that you've got with each other. Lots of love and thank you from everyone.
Thanks so much, Anna. Thank you.